Oh, I thought you were queuing us in.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're here. We're at ZITF, and we met two interesting people. There is Richard. Richard, how are you?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm alright. Well, Richard is being formal. He thinks you are formal.
I know, I'm Richard. Richard Fani.
It's just Richard.
Yeah, and so Richard is doing some cool stuff. You get to know about it as we go. And we are also with Tatenda. Tatenda from Ride and Skies. Tatenda, what's up?
Nothing much, I guess. ZITF is up. Yeah.
Okay. So Tatenda is a feminist, a radical feminist. So I tried to pull a chair just now for her to sit, and she wouldn't even let me. So yeah, that's how radical she is. So I'm Tinashe, and I'm with the other two Texan dudes.
The guys you were used to, Farai and Edwin. We're going to be speaking extremely fast because we might get kicked out of this place. So bear with us.
So actually the situation is ZITF is closed down. So we have sneaked back in, and we're at the Tata stand where we are actually not allowed to be, but we just want this
for you guys.
Yeah. So. That's how important it is. So, Richard has an interesting thing. It's called an EPaper. Richard, where do you stay, man?
I stay in Mbare.
Richard stays in Mbare, the cultural capital of the capital city.
Nah,
Mbare still.
Yes.
Mbare.
And he's doing an EPaper for Mbare.
Yes.
What's an EPaper, Richard?
An e-paper is more like an electronic paper whereby it is distributed it circulates online, just like a formal paper that we're used to. The cultural papers that are produced, that comes in hard copies, but the e-paper just comes electronically and is shared via a PDF transfer through emails, WhatsApp, and other sharing platforms.
So what's the traction been like, or how many issues have you done? Just walk us through that.
We started this e-paper in November 2018.
Okay.
And our first issue came in on the 6th of February 2019.
Okay.
And we had a second issue which came in, which dropped on 13 March. So up to
so precisely.
Yeah.
So up to date we have done 2 issues, and we're working toward the third issue, which is going to be dropping on the 1st of May.
Okay.
So how has been the distribution? How many copies? How many people have received your EPaper?
With no actual records or track keeping records, we had about 10,000 circulations on the first e-paper, but on the second issue we noticed that.
So that's a helicopter, guys. Don't worry about it.
It's coming to kick us out.
Yeah.
We're using more force now.
Kick us out.
All right. So 10,000 in the first issue. Oh, cool. That's a big number, man.
Yeah, we didn't even expect to reach even about 3,000. Actually we had projected for just to reach about 2,500-3,000 people, but we were shocked as we reached about 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And we actually got a lot of reviews, up to 1.3 reviews. People texting, apping, emailing us, telling that how they have received and how they have liked the paper.
Oh, Tatenda is smiling. Yeah, what are you thinking, Tatenda?
No, I'm actually thinking that more young people should be doing what he's doing, and I think whoever is listening is really inspired by what he is doing, because it's a great initiative, and to reach 10,000 people.
Yeah.
He didn't actually specify whether it was youth or whatever, but whoever the message reached, I actually think that it made a huge impact. And if more young people are doing this, then I think Zimbabwe's headed somewhere.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, it's for a community, it's from Mbare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just talking about things around Mbare.
Things in Mbare only.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's quite an effective way of having a community-based thing that people can talk to. I mean, you would have these different communities trying to have a community radio, and yet everyone's already on WhatsApp, everyone's already on Facebook, so why not just use the platforms that are already there?
Yeah.
Which is what this guy is doing. Come on, look at this guy.
Yeah. Well, so I'm really excited, and so why the e-paper? Why did you start this?
We realized that there's a lot of negativity around Mbare. people tend to share only the negative stories in Mbare, but nobody cares about what is happening, the good side of Mbare. So we decided,
like the soldier love side of Mbare.
like the soldier love,
My favorite
DJ Fantan side.
Yeah.
Like we wanna talk that. We wanna not just talk, but we wanna talk and develop, so that we can actually be able to empower young people. We can actually be able to create opportunities to bridge the gap between Mbare and the rest of the country.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So this is why Tatenda, you are actually joining us on this podcast, because Tatenda, you are also very interested in development around high density suburbs here in Bulawayo. So it's interesting. So I mean,
I want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
We are not tribalists. We got Bulawayo in the house.
The city of kings and queens.
well, if you have to say I'm not,
Of
Yeah.
queens
it
and
may seem
kings.
No, we had to.
the city of queens and no kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Kings and kings.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Queens
and no
kings.
kings.
Yes.
Tell me some of the stuff that you're sharing. Tell us some of the stuff that you're sharing with me yesterday. I just want to tie this into this whole community development thing.
Okay, well, my name is Tatenda, has already been said, and I'm someone who, I live in the ghetto. I've lived there ever since I was born. My parents lived in the ghetto ever since they were born as well.
Which
and
ghetto?
Then,
Which ghetto, by the way?
Mpopoma, by the way.
Mpopoma!
You're there, you're listening. I'm from your hood. So I've lived in Mpopoma all my life. And then there are these stereotypes that are there just because you live in the ghetto. Maybe there are certain dreams that you said you cannot achieve. There are certain things that you said you cannot do. So ever since I was young, okay, I'll take you back to my story, my journey. I lived in a household whereby my father was always abusing my mother physically, emotionally, and all that. And I was subject to that treatment. And I grew up, and like, my mother was someone who offered strength to me, and throughout all like the journey, and throughout seeing her pain, throughout seeing the sorrow that was always in her eyes, I was so much inspired to say that I don't want any other woman to go through what my mother has done, and I don't want any other child to go through what I have done. And so ever since I was young, I've always thrived and always tried my hardest just to break social norms that conform, because in as much as my mother was being abused at home, the society would be like, unoshingirira pamurume, vere varume vakadaro vanorova, and all that. And yes, they were normalizing the issue, but then I was looking around my community, and the issue has been normalized so much. Gender-based violence was so rampant, and to the extent that it had been normalized. So when I was growing up, I always tried to say, okay, fine, these are the stereotypes that are there, and what can I do as a young person, or as a person, to be able to just break those stereotypes? And so in my community, as I've said, the gender-based violence, and then also this issue, as you said, I'm a feminist. I believe so much in the power of women. So I didn't want to start big or say that I wanted to speak at big events and all that. I wanted to start in my community. So in my community, I noticed that we as women were growing up, but there are social norms that we're told to conform to. You cannot behave in a certain way. Endlini ungena ngo 6 o'clock, while it's my brother, maybe even younger than me, is allowed to tengene ngo 8 o'clock. Yes, you're supposed to.
Well, so we have been the brothers who have benefited from that, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
See that, yeah.
We slip out sometimes.
Yeah.
And then,
oh my God.
yes, and then you're told that as a girl, you're supposed to do all the house chores, and you're supposed to wake up long before the sun is up. And at the end of the day, these are all social norms, social pressures, social expectations that infringe on me. If I'm supposed to wake up way before the sun, while at least my brother is sleeping, that's unfair. And if I'm supposed to always be doing the house chores, what is my brother supposed to be doing the gardening? But if we're looking at how often are you going to water the garden? Maybe only once a week or twice a week. And so what do you spend the rest of your day doing? And then I'm supposed to do all the house chores, and at the end of the day afterwards also read and all that. And even in terms of academics, sciences are for boys, hey, and mathematics, chemistry is hard. So because of that, and because my father always told me to tender you can't do this. I remember when I was in grade 4, he said, you're never going to take number 1. And I started so hard in that term that I actually took number 1 just to prove a point. And when I got to high school, because I'd always grew up in an environment where I was always being told, you know what, Urimskana, my father didn't pay fees for me because I was a girl, and he didn't allow me to wear, we call them trousers or like those jeans and whatever, because I was a girl. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to be the first person in my family to do sciences. And surprisingly, okay, maybe not so surprising, I studied so very hard, and then I was admitted into the first class and I automatically did sciences. And it is then whereby I discovered my passion. I got into junior parliament, and that was something that nobody like my age had ever done in my community. So I said, okay, fine, I've done this. Okay, I met it was in the President Mugabe. I met President Mugabe, and I've talked to ministers. I've been around, but then it's only me, and we're here. Like the children that I was meeting, yes, they are derived from different communities, but then most of them are privileged. But then there are those ones that are living in the high densities. They're still there. They don't know. They're not exposed to what I'm exposed to. And because I was exposed to the things that I was exposed to, I was then like challenged to dream bigger. I now want to become the first female president of Zimbabwe. Hallelujah.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
Oh,
Amen.
all right.
I'll vote for you.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean. Yeah, as everybody can see, she's already a politician. She outtalks all of us.
Oh,
here.
Yes.
She takes the mic.
Yeah.
She's only talking more than me because I don't
Yeah.
have a chair
Several
today.
times.
Otherwise, I usually talk.
Yeah, so you met your match. So yeah, I mean, it brings us back to this concept of the e-papers, you know. So that's why I'm excited about it. Yeah. That you are actually doing. What's it called? What's your paper called?
The paper is called Mbiles 24.
Mbiles 24.
Mbare, and the slang name for Mbare is Mbiles, and
Yeah.
we're just here to relate
If you
to that.
didn't know, you know now.
Mbiles 24. Yeah, so I mean, we need to have Mpopoma 24. We need to have, you know, like
All these platforms.
all these platforms for, you know what, a kid. So you're probably not the only kid who grew up the way you were growing up in your neighborhood. But because there was no platform where these stories are shared, you feel so isolated. You know what? And you were fortunate because you got maybe some of the opportunities that you got. And like you're saying, some other kids didn't get those opportunities. So I think broadcasting like this, it makes sense. But let's go to the business side of things.
Yes.
How do you make money? How does this thing sustain itself?
Right now in Mbiles 24, we're still in the developmental stages, but we've realized there's a lot of advertising opportunities for Mbiles 24, especially for the businesses, non-governmental organizations that operate in Mbare, because this is the people that we're talking with, the conversation that we're sharing. The people of Mbare reads the conversation of Mbare. So and there's people who are investing in Mbare. There's a lot of business opportunities around Mbare. So Mbiles 24 now becomes an advertising platform for a lot of companies in Mbare. As you know, Mbare is surrounded by the heavy, the light industry, and is surrounded by CSO. And we've got Adbeni Market, and we've got Mbare Msika, one of the biggest bus terminals in Zimbabwe and the biggest fresh producing market in Zimbabwe also. So Mbare has got a huge business flow, but there is no advertising for the community whatsoever, radio, television. So this e-paper now becomes the first whereby the business side of Mbare meets the community, like at community level. So it's a lot of opportunities for the business that are selling, and there's a lot of space that we can create that we've been using. People advertising. If you see some of the e-papers, you see advertisements of companies that operate in and around Mbare, just around Mbare. So these are some of the opportunities, and we also do photography, we do event planning, event management, some of these things which comes in the end, and we also do the marketing on the e-paper and on our Facebook pages, Twitter, and also the likes.
Yeah, maybe just drop those Twitter and Facebook so other people listening can find you as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Perfect way to find
On Facebook, we're found on Mbiles 24. It's just Mbiles 24, and Twitter, the handle is Mbiles 24ZW.
Okay, so maybe we'll put links in the description for the podcast for people who can't spell Mbiles or whatever.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
How much connected do you feel to the ghetto itself? Because everyone in the ghetto is trying to get out. And you guys are doing stuff in there. So you do stuff in there and you succeed and you have enough money to get out of the ghetto. Does that dilute your message? What do you think?
Okay, I think personally for me, it might dilute the message because, well, I'm a speech writer as well. Like, I love writing speech. Okay, I do speeches. That's why I talk a lot. So whenever I'm writing, if I want to write a good speech, whatever topic it might be, I go outside the house. I just walk around the streets. I just see things, and whatever I've seen, I know I get inspiration from the ghetto. So if I was to somehow get out of the ghetto, which I also want to do, I think at the end
I love the honesty, because someone would have said, I don't know, go to the ghetto.
Yes, we have to be honest about these things. But then, why do I want to get out of the ghetto? Because I believe that in the lower density suburbs, maybe I might have a bigger house, whatever. But then at the end of the day, I think what like the question that you raised is very important. What is not in the ghetto? Why are we running away from the ghetto? So us as young people, we shouldn't just say, okay, the government must do this. Us as young people, we've seen that maybe in the ghetto there aren't enough parks. We've seen that maybe there is just too much litter in the ghetto. We've seen that maybe like different things that are going on. So what can we do as the youth to make sure that even when I grow up, maybe there isn't no longer a ghetto in the next 25 or 30 years in Zimbabwe, there isn't a ghetto anymore. It's just like totally just urban areas, low density all over. So what I'm saying is that as young people, in as much as I'm inspired by the life in the ghetto, but I'm inspired because it's an emotional attachment. Whenever I see a man driving a scotch cut, sweating, whatever, when I see a child like without shoes, for those that can't understand Ndebele, without shoes, like whenever I see children playing around the streets with alibora and all that, I see a lack, and that's what inspires me. But I'm inspired because I want to do something different. So as the youth and whatever different institutions that we might be, whatever we see, whenever you see a problem, make sure that you are able to address that. Like I'll take for instance, as I said, I'm a feminist. I noticed and realized that a lot of girls in our community, yes, everyone has been preaching the gospel of empowerment and that youth are supposed to be empowered and all that. But often the people that inspire us are people that are older than us, like people that are 40, 50 and all that. But then I've lived in the ghetto and I've achieved some things, I've done some things, and I believe that I can actually be able to inspire someone, because I believe that everything stems from like inspiration. If say I'm a girl, I see someone wearing a very beautiful weave, I get inspired, I want to get the same weave, so I'll do everything possible in order to get that beautiful weave. So it's just like now, if I come to you, I talk to you, I tell you, okay, maybe if you did things this way, or you know what, the sky is not even the limit, you can do whatever you want to do. You get inspired. You might even get inspired by what I'm wearing, you might get inspired by how I talk, you might get inspired by my accent, but that inspiration will stem something deep within you. So at the end of the day, that's what I generally do. I motivate the young kids, but specifically the girl child, because I believe that we've been downtrodden for so long. We've been so much suppressed and oppressed for centuries. I think from time immemorial, women have just looked down to people like as objects, not even people. In the hierarchy of Africa, if you do your research poll, there was the men, there were dogs, and then there were women. So that meaning that we're even like lesser than dogs. So at the end of the day, because of all those issues, I've told myself that I'm going to be that woman who's going to make a difference. And that's the message that I want to leave to everyone who's listening. Whatever, if you've discovered, if you've realized a problem in whatever, whether it's an institution, organization, or wherever you are, just use your talents or your gifts or whatever just to make a difference and not wait for someone on the outside to come and to help you.
So that was Your Excellency. So you see now, what's the tender you are?
Yeah.
What's the change?
Yeah.
Vision 20?
So yeah, Richard, I mean,
35
yeah.
provisional.
So the question to you, Richard. So
Yes.
so do you aspire to leave the ghetto yourself?
I think one day, yes, I see myself out of the ghetto. But like they say, you can take me out of the ghetto, but you can never take the ghetto out of me. So that's my line
I
of
do
defense.
agree with that.
That's my line of
We're a
defense.
product of all our experiences at the end of the day.
Although if you want to make relevance in the ghetto, you have to like to be mentally and physically invested in the ghetto.
Yeah.
That's how you can always stay relevant. Because I've seen like things like that. People who are no longer living in the ghetto and they try to come and empower people, and the people will be like, look at him, he has made it, and he's now trying to tell us things to do and what. People don't actually understand. Don't understand.
It's true.
Like,
Yeah.
So I think I would rather like move out of the ghetto, but I would want to invest in the ghetto so that I would stay 24/7 in the ghetto and just find somewhere place to sleep if I'm to move out of the ghetto. So that I will be mentally and
On the
physically.
ground, you're
Stay in
Yeah,
touch with
or
the
maybe
ghetto.
what I actually picked from what you're saying is to say, you know what, I'll do whatever I can for the ghetto whilst I'm there, because I'm there and I'm invested in it. And then if I then get to move out at some point, I'll then find some other ways to be relevant. But maybe I will not try to then be condescending and think I know it all, because once I'm outside, I might be actually not the best person
Out
to
of
do certain
touch
things.
with certain things.
Yeah. So it's just like me. I don't live in Mbare, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It can be condescending for me to come and say, yeah. So
this,
you
do
guys
this.
do this
Without knowing
without,
the age is
you
there.
know. I'd rather maybe work with you, work with Agenda, work with some other
People
people.
who have context.
So-
Exactly.
So we're about to wrap up, guys.
I think maybe another thing you guys can do is personal social medias, man. Because what if people want to look for you?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I need likes on
yourselves.
Facebook. I only have like 2 likes on my pictures,
Those
and
are the
that's
first
very
votes.
bad. That's very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. You know what? Future president can
what's
hear
your-
you.
Yeah,
What's your Facebook?
So my Facebook name is Tatenda Kombora, and on Instagram it's mem_unika, and then I'm not on Twitter yet because I'm just trying to fix those 2 accounts, and then that's me.
Okay, so it's Tatenda Kombora, not Gombora. So when she pronounced it, sounded like Gombora.
I wonder why
It's
people always
Kombora.
say that.
Yeah.
Yes,
So she can't even pronounce your name. So I mean, just forgive you.
Yeah, and as well for me, you can find I have a page, Richard Fani Network, on Facebook, and on Twitter you can just search Richard Fani, and same as on Instagram, Richard Fani, and you have
FANE.
Yeah, FANI.
NI. Fine.
E weku primary.
Whatever. Whatever. Okay. Cool.
Yes,
We just want to make it as clear as possible to the listeners.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Because when I can go talk about
Yeah.
That will talk.
Right. So it was really cool hanging out with you guys. I don't know if it was cool for you, Ed.
Oh yeah, it was
Definitely,
fantastic. I mean,
insightful.
for the first time, more people had more stuff to talk about than me. But oh well, it wasn't about me today, so
It wasn't about gadgets.
it wasn't about gadgets.
Yeah.
But
For
it was spectacular meeting these guys, getting to know their perspectives on things, and just hanging out, man. It's so cool to just hang out with people.
Yeah.
And
Thanks so much for coming through, guys. For me personally, I'm thankful because in India, I'm one of those musalad or suburban or low density guys you're speaking of. So some of the deeper context of these situations I don't really have. Richard's phone is ringing.
Okay.
Richard is out.
Yeah.
I guess
So-
we're all out. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, thanks for
he's halfway
listening.
out the tape.
Yeah, so Tech Zim crew, we are out. This is the podcast Reloaded.
We're back.
We're back.
2.0.
Yeah.
All right, out.
Yeah. So new stuff to come as the season continues.
And more ZITF stuff is coming.
What was that idea? And this is signature. This is how we sign out now. I mean, the guy just
sign out
presses
by
the
walking
button as
away.
we talk. Yeah.